Chapter 3. Twilight hauls a small figure into the room. Sweetie Belle sprawls across the floor and looks up in terror as Twilight looms over her. "Confound it all!" Twilight says angrily. "Sweetie Belle, have you been eavesdropping?" "I haven't been dropping any eaves, ma'am," Sweetie Belle says in a frightened voice. "Honest, I was just cutting the grass under the window there." Twilight raises a brow. "It's a little late for trimming the hedges, don't you think?" "I heard Ray's voices," says Sweetie Belle, trying to explain, but Twilight interrupts. "What did you hear? Speak!" Sweetie Belle begins to panic. "Nothing important, that is. I heard a good deal about a ring and a Dark Lord and something about the end of the world, but please, Miss Twilight, ma'am, don't hurt me. Don't turn me into anything unnatural." "No?" Applebloom smiles. "Perhaps not," Twilight continues. "I've thought of a better use for you." Twilight leads Applebloom and Sweetie Belle under the cover of woods. "Be careful, both of you," she says. "The enemy has many spies in her service, many ways of hearing, birds, beasts." Twilight takes Applebloom aside. "Is it safe?" she asks in a low voice. Applebloom pats her pocket and nods. "Never put it on, for then the agents of the Dark Lord will be drawn to its power. Always remember, Applebloom, the ring is trying to get back to its master. It wants to be found." Twilight turns, and with a neigh, gallops out of sight. Over the course of the day, Applebloom and Sweetie Belle hike over the gentle countryside, wading through shallow streams and clambering over stone walls. Sweetie Belle suddenly stops short, taking stock of her surroundings. She looks back from where they came. "This is it," she says. Applebloom looks back at her confused. "This is what?" "If I take one more step, it'll be the farthest away from home I've ever been." Applebloom smiles and comes back to give Sweetie Belle a little nudge. "Come on, Sweetie Belle." The white filly takes a deep breath and steps forward as her hoof meets the ground and takes the next step. Applebloom chuckles as they continue on their journey. "Remember what Granny Smith used to say? It's a dangerous business going out your door. You step onto the road, and if you don't keep your hoofs, there's not knowing where you might be swept off to." In Hayengard Valley, Twilight is galloping along the outskirts of the ancient forest of Folgorn, nestled in a basin at the foot of the distant Maney Mountains. Twilight gallops through the gate into the fortress of Hayengard. A great ring wall of stone, a mile from rim to rim, encloses the beautiful trees and gardens, watered by streams that flow down from the mountains. Smoke rises once more from the Mountain of Moon. The shadow takes shape in the darkness of Canterlot. The hour grows late, and Twilight the Unicorn rides to Hayengard seeking my counsel. The strange tower, hewn from a solid pillar of black obsidian, rides up in the center of Hayengard. Twilight arrives at the foot of the stairs, when Luna, the magic mare, sweeps down. "For that is why thou hast come, it is not, my old friend?" Twilight moves quickly towards her, grimy and weary from her long ride. "Luna," Twilight says with a smile, although exhausted. Twilight and Luna walk slowly between the beautiful trees of Hayengard Gardens. "Is thou sure of this?" Luna asks. "Beyond any doubt." "So the Ring of Power has been found?" Twilight nods. "All these long years it was in Ponyville, under my very nose." "And yet thou did not have the wits to see it," says Luna. "Thou's love of the half-ponies, Leaf, has clearly slowed your mind." "We still have time," says Twilight urgently. "Time enough to counter Princess Celestia, if we act quickly." "Time? What time dost thou think we have?" Inside of the tower, Luna and Twilight are seated in a small, cluttered room to the side of the cavernous central chamber. "Princess Celestia has regained much of her former strength," explains Luna. "She cannot yet take physical form, but her spirit has lost none of its potency. Concealed within her fortress, the Lord of Canterlot sees all. Her gaze pierces cloud, shadow, earth, and flesh. You know of what I speak, Twilight. A great eye, lidless, wreathed in flame." "The eye of Celestia," Twilight says softly. "She is gathering all evil to her," continues Luna. "Very soon she will have summoned an army great enough to launch an assault upon Equestria." "You know this?" Twilight asks. "How?" A smile comes over Luna's face. I have seen it. Twilight and Luna stride through the tower toward a stone pedestal on which a sphere-like shape is draped with a cloth. A palantir is a dangerous tool, Luna. Luna lifts the cloth to reveal the sphere. Why? She asks. Why should we fear to use it? They are not all accounted for, the lost seeing stones, says Twilight worriedly. We do not know who else may be watching. Twilight throws the cloth back over the sphere, and for a brief second she thought she saw the fiery eye itself. Luna sits upon her throne. The hour is later than thou thinkst. Princess Celestia's forces are already moving. The 9 have already left. The 9? Twilight says, shocked. They crossed the river Ingram on Midsummer's Eve, disguised as Black Riders. Twilight's alarmed. They have reached Ponyville? Luna shrugs. They will find the ring, and they will kill the one who carries it. Twilight backs away and turns to run to the door, horrified, as the door suddenly slams shut. Thou dost not seriously think a Shetland could contend with the will of Princess Celestia? There are none who can. Twilight slowly turns to Luna with a look of dawning horror. Luna continues, Against the power of Counterlot there can be no victory. We must join with her, Twilight. We must join with Princess Celestia. It would be wise, my friend. Twilight stares Luna in the eye and says in a deadly tone, Tell me, friend, when did Luna the Wise abandon reason for madness? At that moment, Twilight is suddenly blasted across the room. She slams against the wall, pinned there by some unseen force. With sudden effort, Twilight wrenches herself off the wall and swings her horn towards Luna, blasting her off her hooves. Twilight and Luna battle, powerful blasts throwing them across the room. Luna screams, her eyes blazing. Twilight is suddenly flung to the floor and completely pinned. I gave thou the chance of aiding me willingly, but thou hast elected the way of pain. Twilight is breathing hard on the floor. Her eyes look into the madness of Luna, who begins to send her into a sickening spin. Twilight tumbles toward the top of the chamber, as if falling in reverse, rushing to the roof of the tower.